Hello and welcome to another Pauper video. I'm Kalikaiz. Today I'm going to be discussing the Pauper decks of the week. All the stuff that happened on the Magic Online 5.0 metagame, what the best decks are, and all the spiciest stuff. So before we get into it, remember to like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Check out patreon.com/Kalikaiz if you want sideboard guides. And you can also get early access to videos by joining the YouTube membership. And check out the inaugural or the second Upstate New York Pauper Open, which is happening in Rochester on August 9th. That's going to be a 1.5K cash prize pool if we hit the player cap. Right now there's 24 players that are registered, so I imagine that we're probably going to hit the cap. There's a couple of weeks left, so if you really want to get in that event, make sure you register ahead of time at the link in the description. So what's going on in the metagame? Well, first of all, we have a new contender. Look at this in second place, Spy combo. Multiple Spy decks trophying, and one day the Spy deck actually had the most trophies for the day. This comes after the Pauper Get-In Spy list, so I'll have to go into it. Yeah, I have it queued up for us to take a look at how it works. Other than that, Mono Red still at the top, followed by Mono Blue Terror. So really, last week it was Mono Red, then Terror. We had Mono Red Terror last week, then Elves, Fae, Madness, Burn. Now it's Mono Red Spy, Terror, Weenie, Fae, Tide. You know, the rest of the stuff is kind of in flux a little bit, not a ton, but this is huge. So this new deck is definitely popping off. So let's take a look at it. So this is the Spy combo. This is won by Danielle123. We saw on one day it had 6 trophies. Or 5 trophies here. Pretty wild. 6 trophies here. This deck is going nuts. So the way this deck works, obviously you're going to cast Balustrade Spy targeting yourself. When it enters, target player reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal a land card. Wish this was like a little bit clearer. I don't know. Let me know if you can't see it very well. But Spy targets a player, they reveal cards from the top of their library until they reveal a land card, puts those cards into their graveyard. You have 6 lands in this version with 4 forest and 2 swamp. You can search them out with things like Land Grant, your land cyclers of Genersent and Troll of Khazad-dûm, and then you also have Soggy Wildling here as a 4-of. And the benefit of this deck over the original 5-land Spy by Giorgio combo is that you have a plan of actually hard casting your creatures because you're using your walls like Gatecreeper Vine, Battlement, Axebane Guardian. These are big mana ways to do things. You're going to be able to combo off earlier and get these things into play, like actually hard casting your creatures. So they have a little bit of a better side juke plan, I guess. It's just crazy to me to see so many of this happening. Here, this person yesterday double trophied with the exact same list. So what are they up to? They're playing only 4 lands with 2 Lotus Petals. That's an even faster version of the deck potentially. So lots of potential things that could happen, things that could be in flux here, but it's apparently a very scary deck. And I want to point out that Spy being a creature-based deck, very good against Mono Blue Terror, which is looking to beat up on people that are playing instants and sorceries. They only have a couple of counter spells in their deck. The rest is like Spell Pierce, Dispel, all that. They can't counter your creatures very well. And then you can beat them down with your stuff that is like your big 5/6s and your 6/5s and actually have a couple of game plans into them. So this next spicy list I want to check out was Kiln Fiend by Grixis. We've seen this before, but they're playing red-green. So Festival Crasher, Kiln Fiend, and Hooting Mandrills here as the 12 creatures. And then green spells in the deck, Singleton, Snakeskin Veil. They can hardcast them mutagenic if they really want to. They have Gaia's Gift, which makes a creature reach, trample, hexproof, indestructible until end of turn, and gives it a counter, and then Weather the Storm in the sideboard. We've got Twisted Landscape to fetch out the forest. Wooded Ridgeline. Don't know why they're playing that specifically. This enters tapped, and they have no way of fetching it. So I probably would have played the life gain land specifically. Oh no, I see. So Wooded Ridgeline is a mountain, and you can lava dart your opponent with that. That makes more sense. The next deck I wanted to take a look at was a couple of copies of Red Dredge. So this one is from Akomir. They're playing Red Dredge, putting Golgari Brown Scale in the main deck as a way of gaining life. They've got the Bramble Worm in the sideboard and 3 more Brown Scales. Just really trying to, I guess, fight the burn decks. This player is playing 12 Rummage spells or looting spells. Faithless Looting, Cathartic Green, and Grab the Prize. And then they have Fiery Temper that they can pitch. I'm interested to see if this actually matters while they play the deck. I've seen it doesn't feel like it's really that important to the game plan. And if we move on to the next deck, this is by Sodek, and they're not playing the Fiery Temper. Instead, they're playing a greater amount of creatures as well as Dredge creatures. So Stinkwood dredges 5, and they have Greater Moss Dog here, which dredges 3. And then 2 Brown Scales on the sideboard. Pretty standard sideboard stuff. But they chose to play more dredging stuff to go for a faster win the game plan. I kind of like that deck. It's interesting. Going up on spiciness scale, let's see. Move this one over. So we have a burn deck from Ralkin. This isn't like out of the ordinary and really revolutionary or anything, but they're playing Dwarven Forge Chanter as a prowess creature to get in instead of playing something like Thermo Alchemist. This just pressures the opponent in a different way, and it has Ward of Pay 2 life, so if they want to get rid of it, they're working right into your game plan. But they have made a couple of trophies with this, 2 on that day, and then another person took that deck into the league, so they were able to, I guess, create something pretty successful. They're also playing Suplex in the sideboard, which is cool to see. That exiles a creature, as we know. Now, pretty spicy here. We have a Temur Skred from Selkis. They replaced the Terror in Is It Terror with Writhing Chrysalis. They have Pulsa Marasa to return a Writhing Chrysalis and get a little bit of life gain. And they specifically stated on their Twitter post that they wanted to play Weatherstorm in the sideboard and they just forgot to, but they beat red anyway. This player plays very low to the ground. 4 Augur of Bolus, 4 Brainstorm, 4 Preordain. They've got 4 Bolt, 4 Skred, some Spell Pierces, Counterspell, Sweepers with Fiery Cannonade. They even have Campfire to try to gain life, but also win the very, 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 very long game. And then, you know, I thought that was very spicy. I think this Dimir Affinity here is pretty spicy too. So Unsure managed to trophy with Ethereum Spinner in their deck. That is pretty awesome. So Ethereum Spinner says, whenever you cast a spell with mana value 4 or greater, create a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying. That works right into your Pactol Terror game plan. And everything else creature-wise in the deck is 4 or greater, with Frogmite, Terror, Refurb, and Enforcer. They have Fanatical Offering, which keeps the artifact count the same. 3 Rebukes, 4 Thoughtcast, 4 Blood Fountain. They're really focused on getting Affinity. They have 4 Wellspring and 3 Springleaf Drums. So they look to be kind of like a turbo Affinity, get on the board, slam in kind of deck. No removal spells in the main deck whatsoever. Really none in the sideboard. They just have 1 Arms of Hadar. You've got 4 Hydroblast, 4 Spellbomb. I guess they've been having some issues facing those spy decks lately. So those are the decks that I chose to check out. There was also the Pauper PTQ and Showcase that happened over the weekend. We saw Mogged come up with a new affinity list. So I want to show that real quick. So Mogged is a PT player. So this Grixis Affinity list, it is focused on just getting on the board and trying to dead your opponent. They have 4 Refurb, 4 Enforcer, 4 Galvanic, and a couple of Rebukes in the main deck with Black Mage's Rod. And then the thing that they're focused on here is untapped lands. They only have 6 Bridges, then they have 4 Vault, Seat, and Great Furnace, trying to cast their spells as fast as possible. It's a pretty aggressive deck, and they also are not, they are playing Gorilla Shaman, but I've noticed that there is a very large lack of Gorilla Shaman in the metagame, so people probably could be going to the untapped lands and not get punished by it. So now, let me know what you thought about the decks that I selected, and whether or not Spy is going to be the new Tier 1. I'll see you in the next video.